Hi guys, so I'm back with a new video and let's talk about the Black Phone. So this is the second Black Phone film, which when they announced it was a little like it was unexpected because the way the first film ends doesn't really leave room for a sequel. And I actually don't know, because this is based on a book, so I don't know if this one, the second one, is still related to the book or if they just came up with something new. Now that I've seen it, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but now that I've seen it, I do think they still pulled things out of the book because this is something that most likely they erased from the first film because it would be just like too much. So they just, this is just me speculating. I have no idea. If you read the book, please tell me in the comments if what I'm assuming is true. But like, I feel like the story in this one maybe it was something that they cut off from the book in the first film, and now they just thought, well, this is still good for a sequel. So yeah, but initially I wasn't really hopeful for two reasons. One, because it's a sequel, and based on the film there was no room for another film, and because if you have been following me, if you've watched like my videos and the review for the first film, you know that the Black Phone, the first one, was my most anticipated film of that year. I think it was like 2021, I think. Like, it was my most anticipated for that year, and I was a little bit disappointed. And so because of that, I wasn't really hopeful for this one. But then people started watching it and they were saying this was better than the first film. So I got my hopes up. And now that I've rambled too much, let's get to the video. So if you don't know what the Black Phone is about, as I said, this is the second film. And this particular one follows the sister. It's way more focused on the sister of the main kid from the first film, Finney. So it focuses on his sister, and just it's about her visions and her dreams. And I don't want to say too much because the only thing that I knew was that it was focused on her sister and that it took place during winter and there was snow. That was what I knew, and I think that's enough. As far as casting goes, we have most of the same cast. So it stars Mason Thames, Madeleine McGraw, Ethan Hawke, and there's other like new characters, but yeah, we follow basically the same people, which is interesting if you remember how the first film ended. Yeah, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil it. So I guess let's get to my thoughts. So I'm gonna say this in the best way, honestly. This film is kind of a Nightmare on Elm Street ripoff. Again, I don't want to say too much, but if you've seen Nightmare on Elm Street, if you know what it is about, I think everyone knows Freddy. This film has basically the same concept, and it's fine, but at the same time, I was disappointed again. Like, I didn't have my hopes too high, but because people were saying this was better than the first one, I don't know, I got excited. But honestly, I just feel about this film the same way that I did with the first one. Like, it's a good film, but it didn't give me enough. I now understand why people left the cinema crying, though, because that last scene was emotional, yes. But like for most of the film, I couldn't really connect with the characters. And just a side note, I just want to say sorry if you can hear any construction. Like for some reason, there's always something happening in these buildings. So I'm sorry if you can hear construction. But yeah, back to the film. Like, I just couldn't really connect with the characters. There's a lot of great things, and it's not really the actor's fault. I think everyone was really good. And I loved that we had the same director, Scott Derrickson, because I just love the look of his films. Like sometimes it might be too much. And in this film, it really leans into the whole like found footage stylization, I guess. And which like I like it, but it was a little bit too much for what he's trying to do. I liked it again, and that stylization mixed with the gore, like there's a lot of like gruesome moments in this film, which is another thing that I liked. So at the end of the day, the film has a lot of things that I liked. It's just how it made me feel or how it didn't make me feel. So I just didn't feel that connection with the story, and I was entertained. Yes, it's a good film. It's an entertaining one. It's a good horror film, like not too much, but just enough to have like some pretty good like gory moments. But I ended up being a little bit disappointed anyway, because I don't think they did anything new with the story, with the concept. As I said, pretty similar to Nightmare on Elm Street. So yeah, I was disappointed on that regard. Like on a technical level, like as I said, cinematography and acting and gore, like scary stuff, it was good. I liked all of that. The story was just not that original, and yeah, I don't know, something just didn't grab me, pun intended. And yeah, I guess Postel, let's get to my scores. So I still am honestly pretty torn on the score that I'm gonna give the film, because this is one of those that I really wanted to like, and I wanted to like this one more than the first. But I honestly don't think this is better than the first one. I think the first one is still scarier than this one. And maybe it's just my personal taste that I just prefer like someone trapped somewhere trying to get out. And that's not exactly what happens in this film. So I wanted to give it more, but honestly, I think I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. I feel like I've been watching a lot of like 3s lately, like really basic middle of the road films. But yeah, I almost gave it a 3.5. But because I was a little bit disappointed, and because I still prefer the first one, even though that one disappointed me as well, yeah, I just can't give it the same score as the first film. So it's a 3 out of 5. Cinematography, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5, because I just like Scott Derrickson's stylization, his type of visual, like his type of films I really like. It gives like the eerie vibes, and I just love a really good opening titles, and he always delivers on that. So yeah, I like how the film looks. And originality, honestly, I think I'm gonna give it a 2. I don't think this film is that original like at all. As I said, it's pretty much Nightmare on Elm Street, in a different setting with different people, but it's pretty much the same thing. So yeah. So guys, these are my thoughts on The Black Phone 2. Probably not what everyone's expecting. And yeah, I was expecting to do like a really good review, like being so hyped, but yeah, sometimes that doesn't happen. But yeah, if you have seen Black Phone 2 already, please tell me in the comments what you thought. Tell me if you prefer this one over the first one, or if you still prefer the first one. If you read the book, please tell me if this story, like the story in this film, is still from the book. And yeah, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!